Sir, can you please tell us your name and a little bit about yourself first?
Okay, my name is Nii Adama Djata. In my personal life, I'm known as Laremy Wade here within the States, but more recently, I was installed into a traditional royal council known as the Nii Royal Dynasty, which is partly the Abola PM Council as well as the Anamase Council. So I am known as one of the first diasporans, the first male diasporan to become a chief in a traditional council. And so that's why we're here today. It's been about a year, and I'm sure people have a lot of questions as to what happened to make this, go on, and what I've done for this last year and what we can expect to see as far as the changes that we're going to have in technological advancements within Ghana and just in the Western African area, or the ECOWAS area in general.
Okay, good. So can you tell me what part of Africa exactly you're talking about?
Okay, we're talking about Western Africa, specifically Eastern Ghana, or the Ga East region, also known as the Golden Coast region, and more specifically the Anamase Kingdom, as being one of the major kingdoms of focus in a lot of developments that we're doing. But we also work within the greater Accra area as well, to work with people within the stateside level, such as people within the Department of Foreign Affairs, people that have to deal with the Department of Central Banking. Since we're dealing with cryptocurrency developments, we have to work closely with the people in the central banks to make sure things are compliant and can work smoothly. So.
Okay, that's good. And you're doing all this by yourself, or you have other partners you work together?
This is a great question. I think that in this situation, I do a lot of the developments where I create all of these things myself, but it's only because we want to be able to show that this is a community group, and everybody who believes and who is a believer in these things, I can also consider them to be my partner in this as well, because they are the motivation and the inspiration I need to continue to do these things. All of the things that I do, including for here, whether it's the community here or within the other countries, is all out of my own pocket.
Wow.
So we don't have any outside sponsorship and things like that. Well, and it's not that we didn't want any, it's just how it happened to be. As time went on and as time progresses, you only have so much time. So I began to work diligently on my own to develop these things. And this was one of the things that the royal councils and traditional councils had recognized, that I was very diligent in my effort to make these developments, and then they could see the advantages that this could help with moving and advancing the communities forward, especially traditional communities in which they don't have much access. And because of the lack of access, then they end up in a situation where you have third parties who come from other countries who try to take advantage of that. So now this is a situation where, because of a diasporan reconnection and because of the insight of the Elder Council and the young Numlia Yonka as well, or Numlia Yonka as well, now we're making advancements towards greater developments to where they can see Ghana and other parts of West Africa really being a forefront in technology, especially coming with digital technologies, tokenization, NFTs, and things that are more popularized these days, including Forex, foreign exchange community. So that's where I've come in at. I feel as though they implemented me to make sure that these things can become a reality sooner than later.
Wow, that's good then. So apart from Ghana, are you planning to take this to any other African country as well?
Absolutely. The Nii Royal Dynasty is a constituency of different countries. We're starting in Ghana, and this is going to be where we set the example, but our royal councils are in different countries such as Togo, Benin, Ethiopia, Nigeria, and even up to Egypt. So what you will see is you're going to see a migration of this type of concept, these types of beliefs and philosophies spread into other countries. And we're going to do things to help development and to reinstill confidence that these things can be done internally with these countries. you know, and it's interesting that they chose someone who is out of the country to help them to do it, because I maybe as though they have a better concept of what is going to be a neutral third party, as someone is not caught up in all maybe the backstories and a lot of the initial tribal dissension that is normally part of the conflict in Africa right now. Someone who didn't come from that, who can just think logically without it being so biased, you know, to come in and be able to say, hey, why don't we try to do it this way where everyone can harmonize and everybody still can benefit. Every village, every tribe can benefit, regardless of your Ashanti or you got Dongbe, whatever part that you are, you know, you can still harmonize, because that was one of the things that we were first known for having well-established empires, you know, within the Bekulon that were in harmony. At times there were war that came down, but it was only because we misconceived the value of money and were the things that were valuable to us. So now this is the great equalizer where we come back. That's why you see these things with cryptocurrency. We're coming back to trying to understand what is rightfully ours. And we have to reassess these things within our families and within our communities. It's not just one place, it's all over the world. And it starts here. We're going to set an example, and that's why we're starting here in Ghana, you know, but we're going to work, like I was saying earlier, into the whole Ikawasa area, you know, working in all of West Africa and making sure that we have a good modular example, and now something that's a relative equal to the way that they treat Tokyo and Japan, or some of the places that they consider to be technologically advanced, when everybody knows that West Africa was the first place to ever have a billion-year-old nuclear power generator. So we have always been the heart of these sciences. It's time to bring more exposure back to these things. And it's going to take someone who's got, you know, a revolutionary appeal to these things to really promote them. I think that's why they chose me. They saw my background, and I feel as though they think I had a tenacity to help push it forward. And I'm very thankful and I'm very honored. And I accepted the title honorably. And for this last year, I've been able to make a lot of changes digitally with the way that things work. So,
Okay, so what tribe exactly are you talking about? Because in Ghana we have a lot of tribes. So what tribe exactly are you talking about?
Okay, so more commonly known as Gadangbe.
Gadangbe, okay.
Right, so we know about the history. There's certain histories of the Gadangbe that trace back and saying that these are the first people of where? Jerusalem. Okay, and so we go into a very long story about the migration of the Gadangbe people from what is now known as modern day Jerusalem down through parts of Egypt, down through the Nile and the Niger river basins, and then settling down in the river basins and eventually becoming the West Africans. But initially, you know, this whole landmass was together. It was easier travel through the land. And so these weren't necessarily all territorial yet. It wasn't called just Nigeria. It wasn't just called, you know, Benin. They didn't have all the smaller territories. It was all just one big empire, you know? Big empire stretched across more land.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the Gadangbe and the people who came from what was now they call parts of the Middle East into the Western African part of the community of Ghana are the people of the Gadangbe. And they have the traditions that go back, that tell the story of their migration to this place. And because of that, you have a heavy influence in Christianity, because they were the first Christians. You know, they were one of these tribes of Israel. The tribes of Israel that they talk about. The 12 tribes.
Wow.
You know? And it's like, even the fact that they talk about it and they call them tribes, everybody should have known they were African.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to pay attention to these things. Just like when they talk of 12 tribes, the 12 tribes, they talk of the 12 signs in the zodiac. That number 12 starts coming up a lot because it keeps repeating itself, because Africans are very old people and we had a huge influence. So the Gadangbe is one of these tribes that has a huge, rich influence in different beliefs. Because we know that even within that area, we have people who are Christian, we have people who are what? Muslim, we have people who believe in the ancestors. In fact, all of them believe in the ancestors. Regardless of Christian, Muslim, you're going to do ancestral tradition, you're going to do family traditions.
Right.
You know, so we represent all of those things within our new Royal Council. This Royal Council is partly Abola PM, and Abola PM, they already have an established history, and they like to do things a certain way. So because of that, you know, we decided to create other councils that were affiliated, that brought Abola PM and Anamase Council together. And we had created a council, it was kind of super council, where both of them come together, which was historical because they were in disagreement for a very long time. Okay, so now they come together, and now they come together with the whole hope and concept that some of these newly installed people that came even after myself. I was the first male, but I wasn't the first person altogether as a diasporan. It was actually Graciela, and Graciela Blackstone happens to be part of the Kunta Kinte line, and the Kunta Kinte family line in Maryland, and she was the first one that was given the title of Queen Mother back a number of years ago, I believe around 2014 or so, where she was given this title. So she would be the first diasporan to come over there, but she ran into difficulty when it came into sourcing the financing and things like that. Upon this point in time, a couple of years ago, was where she actually reached out to me because she knew I was doing things with technology. Well, she would reach out to me, and then she would ask me for my assistance in being able to help with the situation of providing more sourcing of funding. And they knew that I was making cryptocurrency. They knew I had made a number of different coins, and they wanted to be in, and they wanted me to make coins for the kingdom, and I did. I made a coin for the Queen Mother. I made a coin King Oyanko, both of which their faces were on it.
Wow.
And so now this would be historical for the blockchain, the first time traditional kingdoms have had their own digital currency.
Sure.
And as it should be, because we want to give respect to the places that we came from, through the traditions that we came from. You should have a way of doing that. Here in the U.S., what do? They put the presidents on the money, right?
Yeah.
And that type of Western thinking has spread around the world. Well, now everybody got their own dollar bill with their president on there.
Yeah.
Well, there was stuff before presidents. Before we could even say the word president, there were different types of rulers. Why don't they deserve to be commemorated?
You're right.
And this is what my motivation was, to bring certain acknowledgement, certain awareness back to traditional peoples, back to traditional councils, because we need to be able to inspire. We need to be able to motivate younger generations who are there. They're very disparaged because they don't have the same economic opportunity.
Right.
What is there going to be an inspiration for them? The only thing most people try to do is they inspire them to work for someone else. There's nothing inspiring about that.
You're right.
They're saying you don't have what it takes to be able to take care of yourself, to be able to propel yourself. I don't believe that, and that's why I work like this, so I can show them as one person, even in this world, even in America, that you can do it. You can push yourself because you're standing on the shoulders of your ancestors. You see?
Yes, sir.
And if you keep doing that, you can stand taller than any building. All right?
You're right.
So just keep standing that way and keep believing, and you'll see the light at the end of the tunnel. They try to dim this light for everybody. It doesn't matter where you come from, or color your skin, or what tribe you're in. You can make this happen for you. Doesn't matter. You see everybody around. You see what has gone on with places. They want to call them third world countries because there's difficulty. There's difficulty being created by third parties. That's why it's third world country, because the third party comes in and creates a difficulty that the society cannot sustain because they didn't create it. You see what I'm saying? So now this is one of those things that we come to bring in a great equality. We have more awareness and more knowledge of what we're capable of. And I'm here to show them that if I can do it as one person, create hundreds of coins for all types of organizations, people, rich corporations, energy companies, to kings, to average common people, to churches, to celebrities, to all these things.
Good. So, well, how can people find you, or if somebody want to contact you, can you give your details out so if somebody want to reach you,
well,
they can?
You know, I make sure that that's kind of limited simply because the nature of what we're doing, but if the time is right, some kind of way you're going to end up running into me.
All right.
That's how that works, you know. This divine timing is right, and you believe in the power of your creator, then he will draw you exactly where you need to go. you know. And there are people around who know me, and if you are diligent enough, then you can come in contact, you know. And that's all I say about that, you know. I don't want to say go here or go there, but if you are in this area, the place we are right now, the cultural access, so obviously they must know me because I'm sitting here, you know. So maybe it's a good idea for you to come down here and check this place out. It's a good start.
Okay, thank you. And also, what's your final word?
Okay, my final word is never give up. You know, don't be disillusioned. Don't fall into the illusion. You know, things are not always what they seem with your eyes. You know,
Right.
keep digging, because if you're drawn somewhere, then it could be for a good reason. It could be because you see something that someone else doesn't. And a lot of times in the past, that's what I saw, something that no one else could see. And then it became real. You know, it tells you about this world. It's more pliable than you think it is. It's not over because you have a difficulty somewhere. You know?
Thank you very much for talking to us. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Peace.
Peace.